situation. Elmo could play this to his advantage, but this is just a battle of bluffs. There's very little that the either competitor can do to predict the other's move here. They're both advanced
Yep.
battlers.
The Volcarona does switch out, and so does the Scizor. Now we have Zamazenta staring down Komo-o. Komo-o is very scary because it can opt to run the Komo-o ZZ move, which is a 120 base power move that can also give an Omni boost to the Komo-o. But the Zamazenta can also run the Psychic Fangs attack to do some heavy damage to Komo-o.
Momo's exclusive Z move is often banned in most metas, but we chose to leave it open for the World Cup.
Yep. Como also has access to the move Clangorous Soul, which gives another Omni boost um, at the expense of taking 33% of your health away. And usually Komos that run the Z move also like to tend to run the Clangorous Soul move as well, just to be able to potentially get a Clangorous Soul off first, and then with its boosted Omni stats, also drop a Como Z the Clangorous Soul Blaze in order to get a double Omni boost and almost clean up matches entirely from there.
It's rare for Zamazenta to run play rough, but it is a possibility, and I think that's something Elmo needs to consider when he chooses the next move. Either way, it could be a Psychic Fangs coming out. It is
Yep.
actually yet another
The
switch.
Lele. Oh, and there's another double switch. We now have Annihilate versus Tapu Lele. Um, Annihilate is not in a favorable position. Both of the Tapu Lele stabs can knock out the Annihilate regardless of the bulk investment, given the offensive stats that Tapu Lele possesses. Rage Fist is not banned as was said in chat. So
That's
this
correct.
Annihilate can benefit from taking hits. However, it should definitely not be trying to take any hits from this
I
Tapu
don't
Lele
believe
right
this
here.
Annihilate lives a Moonblast for Tapu Lele.
Nope.
You may
Nor would
also
a
like to know, just a little tidbit here, the sprite for Annihilate was done by me.
Oh, nice. Sprite right here done by Sen. So some Pokemon you might see have the sprite mode while others have their Pixelmon model. This is just because some Pokemon models have not yet been completed, but Pixelmon has added all the Pokemon into the game, and just any Pokemon that is missing a model instead uses the sprite mode. This gives us access to all the Pokemon, but it also has like a little. It gives us the little placeholder to use if we feel like using them before they have their official models released. And that's a great switching into the Iron Treads. Iron Treads can threaten this Tapu Lele a lot. Tapu Lele could run Focus Blast, however, it might not be ideal against Iron Treads. If this is a choice scarfed Tapu Lele, Moonblast isn't going to do much to it, and it will take heavy damage from an Iron Head or an Earthquake. Similarly, if it is Focus Blast, a Iron Treads at with decent speed investment still is able to outspeed the Tapu Lele.
With the light screen gone, we still have no hazards on the field.
Yep, no hazards on either side. The Iron Treads could also expect the Tapu Lele to switch out and try to set up the Stealth Rocks.
Awesome spikes. Stealth Rocks would be more favorable right now, considering the Volcarona on the opposing team has lost its heavy duty boots.
Yep, that was definitely a very big loss to take, especially if you planned on bringing it back in later. You definitely do not want this Iron Treads to be setting up the Stealth Rocks or any sort of hazards. I'm not sure
Numerous.
if we have seen hazard removal from Venos' side. Oh, here's the Volcarona. Is it coming on a stealth? It does come in on a Stealth Rock,
So it
so
looks
it
like
saves
Venos
itself
did
from having
predict
to
that.
take it. Now we have to see if the Volcarona is gonna is gonna try to tank a hit from the Iron Treads, or if it's going to um, either go directly for an attack such as Fiery Dance or Flamethrower, or is try to set up a Quiver Dance.
Numerous switches in this battle have led to a lot of chip damage on all team members, so this battle's going to go downhill very, very quickly. It seems slow going right now, but the pace is about to pick up.
Yep. Once the hazards have been put up, it does end up putting a lot more pressure on switching out and switching back in. We have been seeing a lot of double switching, but with the Stealth Rocks up, it has definitely restricted Venos a whole lot more.
This,
Especially in the case of the Volcarona, if you switch it out and you aren't able to get the hazards back up, you're bringing it in and taking 50% damage just for bringing it back in at a later time.
it's
And
difficult
if
to
spikes
say
go up, oh, go
who
for it.
has the upper hand right now. I'm leaning towards Elmo, considering the pressure on Venos with the Stealth Rocks,
Yeah,
but
I'm also
this
leaning
still
towards
very much could go either way.
it. Could yeah, it's still very early to tell, but it might seem that Elmo has the slight advantage. The Earthquake goes, but it does not knock out the Volcarona. Volcarona does get a Quiver Dance off. Now, if this is a
Volcarona outspeeds it.
if this is a bulky Volcarona, let me just make sure. It still would be able to outspeed the Iron Shreds. Um, in the event that there is no speed investment, it would
Out,
not be able to outspeed the
out
Iron
comes
Shreds.
the flamethrower from Volcarona, so we know it's not running Fiery Dance, which is they've
Awesome.
opted for base power over the special attack rolls, which I can understand. I wouldn't
Yep, flame.
personally go for that.
Fiery Dance is usually preferable because you can get it off, and it still usually has a very similar role as Flamethrower. But Fiery Dance does have the slight chance of raising your special attack. Now, this Volcarona is susceptible to priority moves, so I'm not too sure if we've seen any besides Bullet Punch that could be from the Mega Scizor,
I don't think
and
Bullet
I don't
Punch
believe it
will
would be
hit.
enough. Yeah, it shouldn't be enough to be able to take it out. So Elmo is going to have to find a way to deal with this +1 Volcarona.
It could depend on the nature of the Scizor. Like the preferred nature these days is Impish on Mega Scizor, but if it's running Adamant, it could take it out.
They
We've
go
got
for the Grimmsnarl, so
only
I'm
skipping
guessing
a
that
light
they're going
screen.
to go. Yeah, I think that the best play first would be to set up a taunt so that they don't have to, or so that he can stop the Volcarona from going from any more quiver dances, and then proceeding to set up a light screen to be able to further handle it.
If he uses
Um,
Taunt first, the Grimmsnarl's going to take some heavy damage.
yeah, it would take some heavy damage, but from this range, it should be able to at least live to set up a screen, but it might not be able to be live a second hit.
I believe it'll live at 40%.
Does go
Taunt
for the
comes
taunt
first.
and stops the
Xenos
quiver dance,
did
so that
go for
was
the
a
Quiver
great
Dance.
play. That was a great play from Elmo, being able to stop the Volcarona from setting up any further. And the Grimstar now takes very little, almost no damage from the incoming attack, sets up the screen,
The
and now the Volcarona can no longer set up any further, has to deal with a light screen, and it puts the Pokemaster Battler in a good position.
Something that surprised me is that Grimmsnarl does not actually get knockoff.
Yeah, it's one of the very few dark types which does not have access to it.
I'm thankful for that
Oh,
because it
he
would be
brings in the
amazing.
Annihilate to hopefully take another hit and have its rage power move boosted even further. It goes with it does risk the burn, but luckily it did not get a burn. I believe flamethrower is only a 10% chance burn.
I believe Rage
So
Fist is a contact move though, and if this Volcarona is packing Flame Body, which it probably is,
yep, and Flame Body does have a 30% chance of burning the Annihilate. However, now this Annihilate's Rage Fist is set up to 100 base power after taking a single hit. Every time that an Annihilate is hit, its Rage Fist move is powered up by 50, and I believe the max cap is set to 300.
it's a ridiculous Pokemon.
That's crazy.
There's just no need for something like that.
Oh, my mistake. So Rage Fist caps at 350, not 300.
Okay,
Even
But
better.
that would still require it to take
we
at
are
least 6 hits.
we're
Oh, the
looking at
Volcarona has Roost.
we're looking at a Volcarona right now.
Yep,
Uh,
the Volcarona does have Roost, and it looks like it is able to Roost off some of the damage. Annihilate goes for the taunt, preventing both Quiver Dance and Roost from happening any further.
I don't believe the Annihilate wins this stall necessarily. This could go on for a while.
It could. I mean, I think it depends on what moves the Annihilate is running. If it goes for bulk up, or if it has bulk up, it will be able to do a good amount more damage. And we also know that it has a taunt, so it can prevent the recovery as well as the further quiver dances coming in.
Bulk up is going to mean very little when the light screen wears off and this Volcarona is able to get off a +1 flamethrower.
Yeah, it still will do heavy damage.
Plus, the more Rage Fists we use, the more times we roll the dice for Flame Body to proc and burn the Annihilate, effectively rendering it pretty much
Here
useless.
comes another flamethrower.
Out comes the
Does
bulk up.
come the bulk up. Yeah, we do have to remember that the light screen is up, so that's why flamethrower it is a little bit easier to take this damage. Another flamethrower. Rage
Rage
Fist
Fist
comes in
comes
and it
out.
does one hit KO after the bulk up.
Shoot.
Wonderful. Okay.
That's great. So now this Annihilate is still almost at full HP, has a +1 boost, and its Rage Fist has been powered up to, I believe, 200 base power right now. So this is a very powerful mon to come in, and it is very scary letting this uh reach such a high level of base power for its Rage Fist move, because it can still swap out, and when it comes back in, it will retain the same base power.
I'm expecting Zamazenta to come in here.
Yeah, not too sure if Zamazenta would be too favorable against a +1 Annihilate. It can go for Play Rough. It can also go for Psychic Fangs to do some damage, but then you further boost the Rage Fist, because it wouldn't be enough to KO the Annihilate, and then Annihilate can hit back with an even harder Rage Fist.
I believe this Annihilate was special defense invested.
Yep, it was able to take those flames even through light screen. It took
Yeah.
a surprisingly low amount of damage from a +1 flamethrower, stab flamethrower. Here
Garchomp does.
comes Cynthia the Garchomp.
Uh,
Interesting.
I'm
We have
expecting
not yet
Scar.
seen. Yeah, we haven't yet not yet seen any special Garchomps. Special Garchomp rose up a lot more in Generation 9. However, in Generation 8, you do see physical sets. Hopefully, it doesn't go for something like a Scale Shot, which would definitely take Annihilate's Rage Fist all the way up to 350 base power. Um, I wonder what move we will see coming out here.
The anticipation.
Makes me wonder if we should run a King Gambit for Annihilate insurance.
Yep. Even then, I feel like it's
Annihilate
still
does
a
carry
tough.
Drain Punch.
Yeah, Drain Punch and Bulk Up, so it can outplay the Sucker Punch and also still threaten a one-hit KO on King Gambit. And with King Gambit's high HP, it's a substitute. What does Annihilate go for?
I believe it's going to be another Rage
Rage
Fist.
Fist. Yep, and it doesn't
I mean,
take any Rocky Helmet. I mean, not Rocky Helmet. Rough Skin damage, because it made contact with the substitute, not with the Garchomp itself.
so Garchomp did lose 25% there, while Annihilate gained from its leftovers. I don't want to speak too early, but I believe Venos is on the run here.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he can do to take on this Annihilate right now. Also, looking at the stream, it does look like we have 7 different World Cup participating servers, and some on the outside viewing the stream. And I believe that Lanky is also streaming this on Twitch. So I'm not too sure how many he has over there,
We got about 10.
but we do have viewers from all around, and we also have the Pokemasters and the Poke Explorer actually participating in the battles right now.
The suspense is killing. Oh,
I
here we
know.
go.
Oh, it goes for
Ooh.
the Z Dragon. Almost knocks out the Annihilate, but it was not
Oh,
enough.
The rough skin
Annihilate takes.
almost
rough
brought it
hit.
down.
Yeah, almost knocks it out, but it leaves it in the red with 52 HP remaining.
This makes me wonder if Annihilate should even be allowed.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the tougher mons to deal with. Oh wait, let's see. H Lena is coming up to speak as well. We have him invited.
And there it is, my favourite Pokemon from Gen 9, Annihilate, absolutely living up to its name, destroying all that come before it.
Oh wait, there
There is
Venus
an
brought an
imposter
imposter
Ditto.
Ditto. Now I'm not sure if that copies the Rage Fist base power because itself hasn't been hit. I don't think it copies the Rage Fist power, so it still ended up getting the
I wonder if
KO.
does the Stealth
Oh
Rocks
yeah, well I
contribute
mean
to
yeah,
Rage
it's
Fist?
yep. It's also a scarf. Usually whenever you see Imposter Ditto, it is running a choice scarf to be able to outspeed anything that it copies.
That means it has 4 good Rage Fists left in it,
Yep. It has
presuming it
4
doesn't
Rage
switch
Fists
out.
to go. Now let me just confirm.
Can you confirm if Stealth Rock damage contributes to Rage Fist?
Oh no, Rage Fist is only powered up by direct hits.
Okay.
Now, the match I'm really looking forward to is Nebula versus Happy Cloud.
Yep,
That's gonna
Nebula
that's gonna
versus
be a
Happy
match
Cloud.
right there.
I wouldn't be that excited about it. It's not going to be too eventful. Nebula's going to win. Spoilers.
It's going to be
No
the
bias
truth
there,
versus
Hassan.
I don't know.
Lee.
I think I hear a little bit of some
All right,
bias right there.
we have the Como facing down against the Choice Scarf Ditto. They do elect to switch out. If they went for the Z Como, it will not do anything, given that Tapu Lele has a fairy
He
typing,
did
and
go for Tiger Assault Blades.
that was an incredible read on Venus' side, looking like he's trying to find his outs to call out back into the match.
Elmo is
The Z
effectively
move is
forced to
gone
switch
now.
out here.
Yeah, it does not want to take either of Lele's stabs, but that was a very good play.
I'm expecting to see Grimmsnarl come back in. Scizor.
Scissor.
Moonblast, Scizor. Scizor can't go to for the bullet punch, given that they are in psychic terrain. One nice thing is that we haven't seen anybody forget about terrain. Thankfully, we haven't, or that hasn't been an issue with any of the battlers. They've been keeping a close eye on rain turns, on terrain turns.
Rain is a
Scizor
mechanic.
goes for the knockoff. It does knock off the choice specs.
Terrain has existed as a mechanic for around 7 years now, and I still sometimes can't quite wrap my head around it. So I'm impressed to see nobody's forgotten about it yet.
Yep, we even had flying types in the psychic terrain. If you don't know, psychic terrain blocks priority attacks. However, if a mon is flying, it is not it doesn't have protection from priority attacks. The
Focus
Lele
Blast
does go
does
for the
knock out
focus
Scizor.
blast and picks up the KO on the Scizor. That is a big KO and is only thanks to the choice specs being knocked off. So the Scizor almost brought that play onto itself. However, you still do have to gamble the focus blast. Um, Accuracy, actually landing your focus blast.
Back to Grimmsnarl.
Now Grimmsnarl is back in. It doesn't
Is afraid of the
appreciate taking
Moonblast here.
Moonblast, but it can still set up a light screen for free.
A critical
Ooh, and
hit
it
brings
crits.
down
Yeah,
Grimmsnarl. That
yikes.
is
Ooh.
And that is without choice spec, so there is a chance that that Grimmsnarl would have lived. The Grimmsnarl, if a move lands a critical hit, it does completely ignore the screens. So that was
That's
definitely
rough.
very lucky on that side.
That
And now we
was
see
rough.
Tapu Fini versus D Lele.
Steve's terrain now.
This brings up the Misty terrain, which has two effects. It lowers the power of dragon moves, and it also prevents status from any grounded Pokemon on the field.
If I was Venus here, I'd keep the Lele's psychic terrain for later. Could be important.
Yeah, I'm not sure what other priority attackers we've seen, but within these last few turns, we definitely have seen this match become a whole lot closer. It Venus in the beginning did look like he was in a very tough position, or they looked like they were in a very tough position, but I feel like now,
This Lele
oh, the
is
Tapu
this
Fini
Fini
does
is
have
running
Scald.
Scald. That's unusual.
Interesting. Well, this Cresselia does have Levitate as well, so it isn't protected by the Misty terrain, so it still is at risk of getting burned. However, as we saw earlier, it is running Trick. It has some sort of item that it doesn't like. It hasn't. We haven't seen revealed yet. Most likely choiced. So regardless of um what of not being affected by the psychic terrain, Elmo would still want to switch out their Tapu Fini to avoid getting crippled by Trick.
What mons from Elmo have we not seen yet?
I haven't been able to pull it up to remember, but if you quickly go to like his trainer card, oh, it does trick the scarf. So now but in exchange, Tapu Fini does get the burn on the Cresselia, but now is locked into a choice scarf. It isn't always
Cresselia,
the end of the world for Tapu Fini, just because Tapu Fini does sometimes benefit from the choice scarf because Scald and Moonblast are some very spammable offensive moves. However, in this case, if you aren't really too invested in attacking, it is a lot more detrimental than it does benefit you.
This could actually benefit Venos very much so because Venos did obtain the leftovers from that trick plus the burn, which means
Yep.
Cresselia, this extremely bulky mon, can no longer be toxic.
Yep. Have we seen
Venos
any
did Venos did forget about the misty terrain there, tried to use Thunder Wave
yeah,
on Komoa.
they went for the Thunder Wave. So that's it seems like that's the first person that we have seen forget about the effects of terrain. It happens, like sometimes it's hard to keep up with what terrain is currently up. If you are battling and you do take a look at the bottom right of your screen, it will show if there's any active weathers, and it also will show if there is any active terrains. Oh, Como goes for the Clangorous Soul to get the Omni boost, while
Cresselia did choose
Cresselia
Lunar
does go
Dance.
for the Lunar Dance, so that was a great play on their end.
Yo, thanks for the
Oh, but the
follow.
Ditto has now copied. However,
Yeah.
I do believe that this is a free switch into Tapu Fini because the only move that would threaten another Komo is the Clangorous or Clanging Scales.
It depends on what this Komoa is running. There is a possibility for
Into
Earthquake.
Tapu Fini. And they do indeed
Ouch.
go for the Clanging Scales. And now the Misty Terrain has disappeared. This also means that Tapu Fini isn't protected by the Misty Terrain. Zamazenta comes in. If they Moonblast, it is going to do some nice damage. They opt for the Draining Kiss instead. Interesting. So that is going to be able to recover the Tapu Fini, but I believe it will out heal any of the damage. And there's a crit taking down the Zamazenta and bringing the Tapu Fini almost back up to full health. That ended up working out very, very well.
We're in the latter stages of the battle now, and it isn't looking too good for Venos. They were able to neutralize the Omni boosted Komoa at the cost of their Cresselia and also by extension their Zamazenta. It's not looking great right now.
Yep. And now we have two Scarfed Tapu Finis facing off against each
Love to
other.
see that
It
Raz
is
spell
also
Happy Cloud.
it is also beneficial to switch into or to use your Ditto to switch into your opponent and scout some moves. I'm not sure if this is the last Pokemon. I believe that Tapu Lele still is in the back,
This could be
but you
just
do like to be able to scout any moves that the opponent could be holding to see what they would have. I believe we've only seen Draining Kiss and Scald from this Tapu Fini. I'm not sure if they've shown anything else.
for the next 5 turns. I'm expecting to see the Battle of the Draining Kisses.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't turn into that. But we do have both of them are scarfed, so it is going to be a speed tie every time. In this battle, Tapu Fini will win just because the only stat that Ditto does not copy is the HP stat, and Ditto has a much smaller HP stat than the Tapu Fini itself.
Venos did get a crit there, which
Yeah, the crit
gave me
does help
quite
out
a bite.
tremendously.
Venos needs to be using this time to think because he does not win the store. They do not win the store. Sorry.
Yep. Like the most he could get is just being able to chip down the Tapu Fini and also wasting the power points of all the moves.
I think the plan currently is to stay out until Misty Terrain declines. There it
I mean,
goes.
yeah, Misty Terrain is gone now. And in this ward, I mean, I guess if they have no more use for Ditto in this battle, they could just use it. Oh, there's a struggle. So now this Ditto is going to be going down. It won't be able to recover anymore, and Draining Kiss will be able to finish it off. However, with struggle, it does end up doing some good damage. Oh, they go into Como. Oh, great play. Oh, but the Ditto fainted from the struggle, so now Tapu Lele can come in, meaning that Como doesn't really have a good opportunity to do much. We do have to remember that this Lele no longer has an item, so its physical output. I mean, it's the threat that it possesses has definitely been neutralized slightly, and now there's less damage that it will take from or that it will dish out with the boosted choice specs that were knocked off earlier.
And it's the
Tapu
battle of
Fini
the
comes
Tapu.
in, and if these are the last Pokemon, I believe that Tapu Fini will end up winning this. Um, ooh, and
There it
Elmo
is.
does end up pulling off the win, meaning that Pokemasters is now 1-0 up against Poke Explorer, and that was a very, very close match.
That was very well played by both players there, actually. Nice, what we love to see in the competition.
I love the sportsmanship that's been going around this so far.
Yeah, and so far everybody has been very respectful after the battles, which has been really nice to see.
If you think that's true, please don't look at the conversation between Nebula and Happy Cloud in general.
Yeah, make sure that
Uh,
nobody looks at general. Let's see, Pokemasters and
Uh,
Explorer.
we love the friendly banter.
Miki's mother and whatnot.
Oh no.
Okay. We have Jose versus. He needs to go to the bathroom. Never mind.
And
Alright,
it's
so
time
we
for a shameless plug.
so we are going to have Jose representing Pokemasters for the very last match.
The Pixelmon World Cup is sponsored by Nebula MC.
Yeah, you wish it's sponsored by
Whoa,
no
not
worries.
quite, not quite.
Who's got the partner role, mate? Who's got the partner role? I don't see Nebula anywhere down
Sponsored
there.
by Build Warriors. Sponsored by Lanky. Sponsored by Navarro. Sponsored by Complacency Roanoke.
Nebula
I have
MC is sponsored by Mickey's mother.
I have to be perfectly honest. The way the community is pulled together to make this event possible, it's been
It is.
quite
It's
something.
sensational. I've never seen this
It
kind of
is.
togetherness from the
It
Pixelmon
is,
community.
you know,
It is a shame we don't have Complex with us here today, but it is what it is.
Maybe next time.
yep, yep. Hopefully for next time, you know, like after this first event, this event definitely should get a lot or rolling a lot more forward. It looks like everybody who has been competing has been
Come on,
having a
Mr.
blast.
Frank.
You know, there have been a lot of players who have like spoken out about how much this has like helped reignite the competitive scene in a lot of the servers that previously were kind of struggling with it. Do we know who's battling for Oh, and Diavo? All right, so the next match is going to be Diavo versus Jose. Diavo representing Poke Explorer and Jose representing Poke Masters.
I've never seen either of these two battle before.
Neither have I.
Using the trainer card button on Jose, it appears he possesses only a Magikarp.
Jose will
A bold play. Diavo, if they
Oh,
can stand
thanks for the
still
follow.
for 5 seconds. Would you like me to read out Diavo's team?
Didn't get an invite. What do you mean,
Sure.
Bleno?
Diavo will be. I'm gonna be sending out some broadcasts. So if you guys would like to take over the commentary for a bit.
Diavo is running a Tapu Koko, an Iron Valiant, Horlucha, Volcarona, Landorus Spherian, and King Gambit.
Oh, I kind of forgot the key to do that.
You just look at a player and press U. Another shameless
No
plug,
worries, Bleno.
incidentally, I did do the sprite for King Gambit.
Oh. Yeah, the rivalry between Nebula and Happy Cloud is definitely something to behold.
It's entirely friendly. Mickey's just a little bit bitter from that
Thanks
time I
for
beat
the
him in a random
follow.
battle.
You just love each other, really.
Yeah, it's an entirely friendly rivalry.
You're like a bunch of teenagers in high school.
Fatal.
You
Didn't
be
even know
me.
you had a rivalry.
Oh, it looks like. Wait. Why
I
is
don't-
Jose using a Magikarp?
I don't think Jose has their team, but they could pull this out of the bag. We're looking at some flail strats.
a good old splash.
Well, it's definitely something different. I don't think
Super
I've ever seen a
effective.
Magikarp.
Yeah, I have never seen this.
This
Oh,
reminds me
man.
of the Pokemon World Championships a few years ago. Someone did bring a Pachirisu to the VGC finals, and they did win.
Oh no.
So maybe Jose's trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
No, I think that's a automatic loss for Jose.
Yeah. I think what ended up happening was that Jose was still putting his team together, and Venus was the one to trigger the PTM battle command because it does instantly force your opponent into a battle.
I was gonna pokey see him, but then I realized I don't want to do that.
Yeah, not on stream.
I was realizing.
It
Wait
looks
a
like
minute.
Jose is bringing a rain team with Pelipper, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Overquill, Tornadus, Scizor, and Kingdra. And over here on Diavo's side, they are bringing a Tapu Koko, Iron Valiant, Hawlucha, Volcarona, Landorus, and a Kingambit. So the Tapu Koko has been paired with Iron Valiant a lot because in Pixelmon the only way to activate Iron Valiant's Quark Drive
For
ability
real,
is
for
through Electric
real.
Terrain, since there is no booster energy item.
Magikarp Sleeper
Jose's
OP.
Jose's rain team is very tried and true, so he's become more predictable in a way because all competitive battlers have seen a rain team like this before. But
Yep.
maybe
But it is still a very
they've
consistent.
gone for reliability over something that would surprise their opponent
Yep.
necessarily.
And this also looks like something which is legal on the showdown ladder, so I can imagine that there was also a lot of training that went in behind this. They did bring a Kingdra. It's the first Kingdra that we have seen. People have been electing to instead bring the Basque Legion female for a Swift Swimmer. So it's really cool that we got to see
Happy
Kingdra come
Cloud
back.
Boo. Twitch chats, man.
But we're gonna have to see how they lead. Ideally, Jose does not want to lead a Pelipper into a Tapu Koko because it just forces Pelipper to have to switch out turn 1, and could instead opt to go with a Scizor to hopefully get a U-turn out on turn 1. But then U-turn from Scizor does risk it getting burned from the Volcarona.
How it chews the gum 5 feels. Gum gum. Senses your stimulate.
For server owners and admins watching, I highly recommend you ping your server staff to come and watch the World Cup. It's a great opportunity for togetherness. You can all share in the events, the festivities.
Yep,
Uh,
Lanky has been sharing the stream link in the hashtag official stream channel right underneath the match day.
Which I don't have it set to ping everyone, but every time this
Okay.
it
you
goes
can just
live
copy and
now,
paste that link into your staff information channel.
it will always automatically send a message when we go live now.
Diavo has only selected one Pokemon.
Oh, look at that.
All right. Looks like there was still another difficulty that happened there, but hopefully after this it should be fine. Oh yeah, so there is a timer set for Team Preview. I believe the plugin has a built-in timer set up, so that might have been what ended up happening there.
Battle has begun, but Jose has actually left his Scizor on Mega before the battle started.
Nebula.
I mean, I do believe that the okay.
Yo, thanks for the follow, White Noise. Happy Cloud L.
Common Happy Cloud L.
Seen about 2 Happy Cloud dubs and three Nebula dubs here. Thanks for the follow, plus.
It's like we are going to have to restart this. This is the third restart within that little span. It's okay, just a few miscommunications here
Yeah,
and
thanks
there.
for the follow, Raz. Totally unbiased because we've been sharing the stream link. Cough, cough. Yo, thanks for the follow, Sen. Father, son.
All right, it looks like the match has finally started. So let me spectate.
Simply Chavez. Did I just hear that Nebula is a walking L?
All right, so we have Scizor facing off against Tapu Koko. Scizor could opt to Mega Evolve and go for the Bullet Punch, predicting the Tapu Koko to go for a Volt Switch or a U-turn. However, I do think that Diavo recognizes that threat and might elect to just do a hard switch out into something that can take the attack a lot better. Scizor is going to be really great to have against Iron Valiant. One thing that battlers have struggled to face here in this tournament is Iron Valiant. Every time one comes in, it always ends up knocking out 1 or 2 Pokemon before it eventually goes down. And Scizor is just one of those Pokemon which are able to very comfortably handle it. So he definitely wants to make sure that he's conserving as much of his Scizor as he can for whenever the Iron Valiant finally pops out.
Tension is palpable.
Stream mad quiet. What are you talking about, mad quiet?
Oh,
What is happening?
What is going on
Scizor
here?
U-turn.
Well, I guess that's a win for. I will ask you again. Who placed bets? Because it seems like
Alright. What is
just
going on? Okay.
Jose is purposely trying to throw the battle.
Diavo did
I
get
mean,
the
I mean,
flame
no,
body proc.
the wins still look like it went to Jose. I'm not entirely sure what ended up happening there. Um, all right.
I'm not sure if saying first move is the way to go here because Diavo did get the flame body proc and this puts him in a disadvantage stunning again.
Yeah.
I'm
However,
thinking different leads.
according to the guidelines which we did set up, um, they do have to use the same moves if the match ended in under 10 turns. We have those just to have like some consistency and to avoid disputes. It's more of like yeah, it is unfortunate the flame body did proc and they're no longer gonna have that on the scissor. But in order to be consistent with the way that we handle all these situations, given that we have seen a lot of matches end prematurely before turn 10,
U-turn, I believe,
we
was
are going to keep
fixed. So
this. Yeah, U-turn should have been fixed
U-turn,
with
fake out,
the patches
pursuit,
that Daniel sent
and
over
megas were
yesterday.
fixed.
All right, so now let's take a look at this match.
Very close
Third,
together this time.
third time lucky.
I believe this is the 5th time.
Oh, I have not been paying attention, even though I'm supposed to be commentating. I was not paying attention because I am good at my job.
Hey, plus, what are you having trouble hearing? The commentary,
So
me.
the scissor did go for the U-turn, but there is no flame body, so it is really really unfortunate for Diavo that interaction occurred. Linky, are you by any chance on the physical server right now?
I am indeed.
Would you be able to teleport Jose to one end of the Pokeball while I teleport Diavo to the other one?
I can.
Just to have them spaced out a little bit more. Awesome. So we do have to see what the next play is. I believe Jose is still looking to see which Pokemon they want to switch in for their Mega Scizor. They bring in
Pelipper
the Pelipper.
pretty predictably
Nice.
comes out.
Yep. Now Pelipper can go for something like a slow U-turn on the Volcarona. Volcarona can't really do much to threaten this Pelipper and is heavily threatened by Hurricane, by Hydro Pump, by Surf Scald, all of both of Pelipper's stabs.
And this is how that Volcarona will not be on the battlefield for much longer.
Yep, I think that Jose's best play is to just go for a slow U-turn because Volcarona's fire type attacks are
Hunter,
also
Hunter.
weakened by the rain.
I don't know, man. Simply Chavez. I'm pretty cliche, but Naruto's pretty
Yep.
banger.
Volcarona does switch out. King Gambit comes in. What does Pelipper opt to do? It's good
U-turn.
that they're going for a U-turn. Very lucky that the Pelipper didn't opt to go for a more offensive play and go for a Scald. It could have ended up burning the King Gambit. However, now we're going to see which Mon Jose ends up bringing in.
The other
Also, it's
deciding
very
not to make use of Supreme Overlord here by sending out King Gambit so early is interesting.
I don't. Supreme Overlord doesn't show. Oh wait, my bad. I misunderstood what you said. I thought you were saying that it wasn't running the Supreme Overlord ability.
And nothing's fainted on the other's end yet, so Supreme Overlord hasn't yet procced.
Yep, or hasn't been revealed. Very rarely, King Gambits can also opt to go for Defiant, given that
Yeah, thanks for
Landorus is
the
a
follow.
Pokemon that's been popping around, as well as Mega Gyarados, which we were able to see last night. So we do know that we have some Intimidate. We also saw an Incineroar, which very uncommon pick, but we do know that there are Intimidators that are going around. Urshifu comes in, it will threaten an Oko with a Stab Close Combat or Drain Punch. It could also go for the U-turn, predicting the King Gambit to switch out, but once again, it does risk getting a burn from the Volcarona if it switches in.
Regardless of the outcome, there is no way King Gambit stays in here.
Yeah, King Gambit should not stay in. It's also Surging Strikes boosted by Rain, so even if the King Gambit does live, it will live with very little HP left over, given that Surging Strikes is a pretty powerful move then further boosted by rain. And if this Urshifu could be running something like a choice band, it could be very close to just Okoing the King Gambit, regardless of whether it goes for close combat or surging strikes.
Nothing on Diablo's team appreciates a boosted surging strikes. There's very little you can
Not
switch
even
into.
not even
the
Tapu
Lando T.
Koko. Yeah, Landorus T. Its Intimidate won't have any effect on the surging strikes.
We got
Oh, they
Lando's
do
T.
go for the
Yeah,
surging strikes, and
it's
surging strikes.
2
Oh, does
crits.
come in.
That is incredible. 2 crits.
Yep.
That's very unfortunate for Diablo, especially on top of the fact he didn't get the Flame Body proc on the Mega Sizzle this battle.
Yeah. But yeah, given that Surging Strike always has a guaranteed crit, and this Intimidate that the Landers just put off doesn't really do too much except for give them a free switch into Halucha. Halucha gets a defense increase, so this is most likely an unburden. Um, and unburden Halucha. It can go for something like the acrobatics to knock out the Urshifu. It could also try to predict the Urshifu to switch out and go for something like Swords Dance substitute. I do believe that this is the first Unburden mon that we have seen. So the way Unburden works is that once the user has consumed its item or has its item removed, its speed is doubled. Um, yeah, its speed is increased by double, and it also has Halucha specifically has its move Acrobatics base power increased. It does go for the Acrobatics, wow, but the Urshifu lives
Yep.
and knocks out the
3
Halucha in
crits.
return. Yup.
Surging
Oh man.
strikes.
So yeah, Jose is in a really good position to maybe wrap up this tie and send the 3 points over to Pokemasters.
There is, at this stage, very little Diablo can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, here comes the Iron Valiant. So we saw that the Urshifu went for Surging Strikes rather than something like an Aqua Jet in the terrain. It wouldn't have been able to do enough to the Halucha, but it did opt to stay in, knowing that it was going to take a or knowing that it was going to take an Acrobatics. Iron Valiant is in.
Bulk
Assuming
Drive to
that
boost
there
speed.
Yeah. Assuming that there is no Aqua Jet or that this Urshifu is choice locked, it won't be going for an Aqua Jet, giving Iron Valiant a very free hit. And on top of that, it will be outspeeding Urshifu. However, this electric terrain could be ending at it seems that it should be ending at any moment.
The Urshifu comes out.
Thunderbolt comes in. So the Urshifu swaps out for Scizor, Iron Valiant goes for Thunderbolt, isn't able to get a paralysis off, and is now being threatened by a Bullet Punch.
Mega Sizzle really is a tried and true Pokemon, extremely consistent since its inception of being just great.
Yep, I believe that Diavo's play is to go back to the
Thanks for the
Volcarona,
follow,
hoping to
Chef.
burn this Scizor. Being able to burn the Scizor does reduce its threat to Iron Valiant, giving it the opportunity to. Seeing that it went for Thunderbolt, it is either going to be running close combat or Focus Blast. Most likely close combat because Focus Blast isn't too, or you can't really rely on it too much. However, close combat with 100 accuracy every single time is a move that most likely would come out. Scizor also didn't take too much damage. Scizor is a very good defensive Pokemon as well. In the rain, it doesn't have to. While it still has to worry about fire type attacks, since it's halved, it's only taking 2 times damage from fire types rather than 4 times damage. The Volcarona does come in. Scizor does U-turn, and it does get flame
The Flame
bodied,
Body proc. That is
burned.
huge. That's huge.
Yes, that has halved Scizor's attack power in half. I mean,
If
that has halved Scizor's attack power.
if Diavo was going to turn this battle around, that Flame Body proc was crucial to his plan.
Yep. There is also um the Kingdra comes out. The Kingdra can definitely pick up a KO here on the Volcarona. In these types of matches, Kingdra tends to run sets such as I believe that the most popular set is Hydro Pump, Draco Meteor, Surf, and Hurricane or Ice Beam. Um, Sometimes Kendricks don't end up going for both Hydro Pump and Surf. Sometimes they choose one or the other. Usually you run both in the event that you need Hydro Pump just for that extra bit of damage, or you run Surf for the guaranteed hit. But
We are
instead, it
looking
has
at
Flip
flip
Turn,
turn. I
and
was
if I
thinking,
did I read
I was thinking Hurricane would be the play here for
Yeah.
Iron Valiant
That,
switch in, but
that Volcarona do go
we're
hard.
going an
Though.
entirely different way.
Yep. I guess that they expected Diavolo to want to conserve the or wanted to save the Volcarona for maybe trying to get a flame body burn on the Urshifu later to see if that would come through. But the Kingdra can now switch out. It looks like Diavolo is looking to see which Pokemon they want to switch in before Diavolo is going to be given the opportunity to see how they want to respond.
It seems like Jose's option of reliability over creativity has really paid off here. Diablo is effectively on the run. It all depends on the rolls in the next few moves, though, I think. Out comes Tornadus. And Diablo is opting for...
Tornado seems to be an extremely popular pick so far in the tournament.
Yep, we have seen utility tornado sets, and we have also seen nasty plot special attacking tornadoes. We saw one able to take or use the Fightinium Z move, Z Focus Blast, to deal some heavy damage yesterday in one of the matches. I believe that it was into a I forgot exactly what which match it was, but we have been able to see a good variation of sets. Electric Terrain is still up, so this Iron Valiant will be outspeeding this Tornadus. And as we saw earlier, it has Thunderbolt, so it is able to get a nice hit off on Tornadus. I do believe that if this Tornadus is running an Assault Vest, it should be able to live and also threaten an Oko back with Hurricane. And the rain is still up, so Hurricane currently has 100% accuracy. So it depends on how or if I think that this next turn is going to depend on if Jose is going to want to take damage on his Tornadus, because it looks like Diablo is very confident about having the Iron Valiant in against it.
low risk for Jose, considering Tornadus' regenerator ability.
Yep. You just don't want it to be like Specs Iron Valiant, because I believe Specs Iron Valiant can still get the Quark Drive speed boost.
Considering the damage it dealt to Mega Scissor with Thunderbolt, I doubt this thing is specs. It only dealt 33% to a Mega Scissor, which I assume is uninvested in special defense.
They go for the Urshifu, sacking it. It was a Z move,
It was a move. There
Thunderbolt.
it is.
Wow,
Sacrificing the
that was a
Urshifu there by the looks of it.
yeah, that was a great play. The Urshifu had pretty much done its job. You know, it got two pretty big KOs and was only left on a little bit of HP. So that was a good sack to be able to take away the Z move. It was also boosted by Electric Terrain, so that Tornadus was definitely gonna get knocked out. Running the calculations right now, it would have done about 161 to 190.6% damage to a Tornadus.
Oof.
So
Very good switch from Jose.
Back into the Scissor.
Which is still burned, as a reminder. There's very little this thing can do to an Iron Valiant, except buy a little time, maybe.
you could go for some bullet punches or even the rare Iron Head. Usually, because Scizor likes to rely a lot on its technician boosted bullet punch, it doesn't opt to go for Iron Head. However, there are rare cases where you do see it used.
Yo, thanks for the
Last night
follow
we
there.
did end up seeing some Scizors running that set.
I'm expecting to see a U-turn here. I think Jose's just feeling out what the other's going to do.
No weather and no terrain active at the moment.
Yep, this does mean that Iron Valiant no longer has its Quark Drive speed boost. It goes for a Calm Mind, interesting.
That is
And we didn't see the Scizor go first, so it didn't bullet punch, but it did go for the Roost. So now it is pretty much back at full health.
the other does have an opportunity to bring this back. Not without that electric terrain.
Yep. Bullet Punch did slightly over half. Focus Blast almost one hit KO the Scizor. Wow.
If you get another bullet
Um,
punch in before it
yeah, you can
dies.
get one more Bullet Punch in. If I were Jose, I would just let the Scizor go at this point,
Yeah.
and Diavo could just it could attack using Thunderbolt or Moonblast. The Scizor won't be able to get the roost off. There's the Bullet Punch. Iron
There
Valiant
goes
goes for the
Scizor.
Thunderbolt, KOs the Mega Scizor. Now I believe that Jose can still set the rain back up and um switch back in Kingdra at any point to be able to outspeed this Iron Valiant, who does have a very high speed of 364, outrunning a lot of the very popular base 100s that we've been seeing throughout this entire tournament.
You cannot outrun a Swift Swing Kingdra.
I'd just like to say thank you to Lanky for putting my Discord up in the Twitch chat.
Had it pinned there for you.
Thank you very much, good sir. I'd appreciate if everybody would join that, just to, even if it's just to have a look and be nosy.
The Tornado switches in on Moonblast and takes heavy, heavy damage. I'm not too sure if that was the best play to make, but Tornadoes can now outspeed the Iron Valiant since there is no terrain up, and it can also go for a 100% accurate Hurricane.
It's clear that
That
Diabo
was a
was
very
expecting
risky.
Kingdra to come in there.
Yeah, they were yeah. If it was definitely a better choice than to just send in the Kingdra. There goes the Iron Valiant. The Tapu Koko is now in. The Tapu Koko does outspeed the Tornadus Therian.
Also,
believe
electric
Kingdra-
terrain and the rain are on, so I'm not
Kingdra
liking its
could-
chances.
Oh,
There you go.
Interesting. They
critical
went for the
dazzling
Gleam.
gleam.
Yep, I'm guessing that they were expecting the Kingdra again,
Kingdra.
just because Kingdra takes neutral damage from any electric type attacks.
Kingdra could have
And it
comfortably
also,
taken a Thunderbolt there.
yep. And here comes in the Kingdra. Now let's see. I don't believe there are any moves that can Oko the Tapu Koko. And if Pelipper and Kingdra are the only mons left, Tapu Koko could knock out the Kingdra with Dazzling Gleam and then finish off the Pelipper with a Thunderbolt. So this actually is a lot closer than we have seen. I think the Kingdra has to go for something like a Hydro Pump to just get the most damage out of this turn.
Hydro Pump
Didn't-
could knock out.
I'm not liking Jose's chances on this one.
Both battles we've seen today have been huge turnarounds.
Okay, actually, I have just ran the calcs, and if this is a Choice Specs Kingdra, Hydro Pump will even Surf and Hydro Pump both do over 100% damage, so they can't Oko unless this is a very rare, like max HP, with some special. Even with max HP, it won't be living this attack. So it does look like Kingdra's in a comfortable position, but if it has to rely on Hydro Pump accuracy instead of Surf, it does put it in a really awkward position where it has to really hope it lands that lowered accuracy move compared to this.
Out
It
comes
does
Hydro
land the
Pump.
Hydro Pump. It knocks out the Coco, and then King
Oh,
Gambit
there
comes
goes
back
the
in.
Comes in with
Coco.
Supreme Overlord.
That's a
If King
rough
Gambit
hit right
Now,
lands
there.
Hydro
King
Pump, it's
Gambit is one
big
of those
problem.
it's one of those mons which can turn a game back around. It has been boosted by all of its allied Pokemon fainting, meaning that all of its moves, I believe, currently have an equivalent attack boost to a Choice Band, and on top of King Gambit's excellent stab moves as well as really high attack, this Kingdra would take a whole lot of damage from Sucker Punch.
King Gambit really is that guy.
And I retract my previous statement.
Yep. The rain is still up, so a Hydro Pump
Sucker
can.
Punch.
Oh, it
Oh,
lived. Oh
Ooh.
my goodness. So this isn't a. It doesn't. It looks like this is a timid Kingdra, not a modest Kingdra. If that was a modest Kingdra, it would have been able to pick up the KO. But
the
now
other could
here
have
we
used that
go.
Sucker Punch
Who
crit
is the
turn
last?
earlier.
Yeah. Are there any other Pokemon besides the Pelipper, or is it going to end off being Pelipper versus the King Gambit?
I see people laughing at my sprite in Twitch chat. I worked hard on that, okay? It looks exactly like King Gambit. You can't tell me it doesn't.
I don't know. For some reason, I've just got a Pokeball showing up for me. Very strange.
Play says my
Oh,
sprite is silly. Glyph
yeah.
says it's beautiful.
if you see a Pokeball on your screen instead, you should just reset your texture packs, and it should fix it, or like at least reload your textures. We do see the Pelipper come out. It is at full HP, and with it doesn't look like, I don't believe that King Gambit is capable of knocking out a
I don't
Pelipper.
think Sucker Punch knocks us out here. I think
Sucker
Jose
Punch,
has
I
one.
don't. Yeah, um, I know that Kowtow Cleave doesn't, but knockoff with an item, I believe, can knock it out.
Oof.
Scalper
Skull,
uses
it
Scalp.
outsped, and Jose ended up
Jose
winning the
took
battle
that
with Pelipper,
dub.
Wow, wow.
meaning
Well
that
GG.
done.
Well
Pokemasters
played.
has a 2-0 win, giving them the 3 points for this match and ending this tie.
That's crazy.
That was a beautiful battle.
It's very well played.
Vive España.
Viva España indeed.
That was a really good match that we saw. The rain definitely did overwhelm Diavo's side quite a bit. The speed from the Kingdra was a lot to handle, as well as the high speed Tornado Starion benefiting from the rain.
Jose did
Oh,
actually have an
actually, I
extra
don't believe.
Modnet bind. We'd never saw Overquill.
Yeah, we did never see Overquill, so which is another mon which does get boosted by the Swift Swim ability. But yep, that does end up concluding all of today's matches. Pokemasters leaves with a 1-0 victory. I mean 2-0 victory. Let me quickly take the battle log.
I did see a call earlier to subpoena the direct messages between Nebula and Roanoke.
Which battles are we expecting to see tomorrow?
But yeah, tomorrow we only are going to have 2 matches scheduled. It's only going to be Group E playing. And the expected matches for tomorrow are Arcasia versus Hyper Network. I believe Arcasia is US based. I might be wrong. And Hyper Network is from South Korea.
You can find
And
all
we
of the
also
bracket
do have.
information in the Discord. Oh, sorry about that. I was answering a question in the Twitch.
It looks like Novaro has left the commentator's box.
He's had enough for today. He said, "That's it. I am
Way
done."
through answering
Any
a
other
question.
information you guys are looking for inside the Twitch chat, you can find in.
Let's tell the
our
people what they
Discord.
want to hear. When is Nebula battling Happy Cloud?
Seems like
That
that's
is
the
the
most
match.
anticipated battle now, huh?
That is going to be the match of the tournament.
Trust me,
$1,000
guys,
on
it's not going to be
Nebula.
that big of a deal. Okay, Lanky, do you know off the top of your head when that is?
That's a really good question. Not off the top of my head, but I can look.
I will just ding Navarro.
Let's see. Nebula versus Happy No. Where is it? Happy Cloud versus Nebula is June 24th.
June 24th,
Forgot
Happy
about-
Cloud versus Nebula. Be there.
That's the day before my birthday too.
All right. That does conclude all the matches for today. Are there any last commentary or notes that you guys might want to point out?
I am A-okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Once again, tomorrow is Arcasia Hyper Network and Obscuros versus Poke Valley. They are going to be the last 4 teams to participate in the first round of group matches. Every team, the way it's set up is that once a team battles, you have every team has a battle every 4 days, and it's 3 matches. So over the span of 12 days, they will be completing the group stage matches. And once the group stage is complete, we will be moving on towards the knockout stages. However, there will be about a 4 or 5 day break in between, so that teams have more time to prepare. They can schedule their matches, and then almost every single day, there's going to be a team being eliminated from the tournament once we get to those knockout stages.
Fancy, fancy,
But yeah.
fancy.
From me, that's everything for today. So I'm going to head out. But this was a very cool. These were very cool matches to watch. Very exciting to see that we finally have groups A through D filled out. just waiting for Group E to complete their matches. And once I have all the times available, I'll make sure to post an announcement so that if you guys are interested in catching any of those matches, you are more than welcome to hop in and join either the Discord live stream, or if Lanky's around, joining the Twitch live stream.
Will there be a league table posted at any point, like a group table?
So if you currently go to the groups aren't separated into their own table. I haven't quite gotten to that yet. However, we do, if you go to the groups channel on the Discord, you will see that there is a spreadsheet that currently has a lot of the current results. They are updated at the end of every single match day, usually before midnight of that same match day. So once the scores have been updated, there's going to be an announcement put out, as well as the next match times, and like the overall summary of the match day. And so that should help keep everybody up to date on exactly which position every team is currently in, as well as the scores and which battlers have been performing the best.
In the knockout stages, I would like to see a graphic of the brackets. That would be
Yep.
very nice
Once we
to
get
see.
to the knockout, the graphic of the brackets is going to be will be available. So just because I'm not sure if it's been explained with or because I haven't had a chance to fully explain it, the way that the brackets are going to be generated is that since we're going to have 16 teams proceeding to the knockout stages, meaning that only 4 teams are going to be sent home after the group stages, the highest ranked team is going to be facing off against the lowest ranked team. So the team in first place is going to be facing off against 16th place, and then it's just going to keep going down the order that way, such as 2 facing 15, then 3 facing 14, and so forth. So it is in every team's interest to finish at the very top, so that they do have to face the teams with a worse record and then being able to proceed further down into the tournament. But as for announcements and match day information, that's everything for today. I really appreciate everybody coming out here to watch the matches and being able to support Pokemasters and Explore during their battle. And by tomorrow, we'll be able to have this stream open again just to finish off the first round of the group matches.
See you all tomorrow then, I
Great,
guess.
thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Yep. All right, everybody. That's it for
Goodbye.
this. Yep.
Keep out.